Do you need to lose pounds fast? Then try the new Liz Truss diet.
Now, the British pound has fallen to its lowest level ever.
A big new economic experiment in this country.
The government has lost control of the economy.
When you get lines that go down vertically like that, that's quite unusual.
We're facing a global economic crisis brought about by Putin's war in Ukraine. Britain took decisive action.
While the war in Ukraine certainly hasn't helped things, it was actually the
Decisive action.
that sparked the currency crisis. Specifically, an unexpected tax cut for Britain's highest earners, announced just minutes before the pound took a record-breaking plunge.
But I'm not going to cut the additional rate of tax today, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to abolish it altogether. From April the 23rd, we will have a single higher rate of income tax of 40%.
Wait a second, why does that sound familiar?
We will simplify the personal tax system by abolishing the 37-cent tax bracket entirely.
Yes, the move that sent the British pound underground sounds a bit like the Stage 3 tax cuts that are set to start here in 2024.
The Stage 3 tax cuts are basically eliminating the top rate of income tax altogether, bringing that right down so that anyone earning over $120,000 will be paying the same amount as somebody who's earning $250,000 or $300,000.
Labor originally opposed the Morrison government's Stage 3 tax cuts, but eventually backed them into law. Now the PM says there are no plans to change them.
The Parliament made a decision to legislate those tax cuts, and we made a decision that we would stand by that legislation.
That's despite a survey out today showing 41% of Aussies want them repealed versus 22% who want them kept.
Right now, you should be feeling real pressure.
We have record levels of debt and deficits. Most people don't want to see people who are already well off just get even more benefit at a cost to all taxpayers.
Basically, the country cannot afford it. It is as simple as that. It's a lot of money, nearly $150 billion over 10 years. Imagine where we could be putting that money back into.
Facing the disastrous consequences of the tax cuts, late today the British government announced it would scrap them.
The 45p rate was becoming a huge distraction on what was a very strong plan.
This will simplify the tax system.
Step 3 of the plan makes our tax system simpler.
Look, there are absolute parallels between the tax cuts that the UK has brought in and what Australia is proposing under Stage 3. They're basically saying we believe in trickle-down economics, which we know conclusively doesn't work.
So is our dollar in danger of following the path of the pound, or will we heed Britain's cautionary tale?
Remember to stay flexible and exercise that caution.
I think we ought to be showing backflips, not aerobics exercises, given what's happened this afternoon. So the 45p top tax rate stays. It doesn't get abolished anymore. I wonder, though, does that give Jim Chalmers, the new Treasurer, the feeling that he may be able to backflip on the third stage tax cuts?
Why?
Well, I think he could do with a lot of help on the budget. I mean, the debt is huge. And the fact that interest rates are going up means the interest payment on the debt keeps going up. So economically, it would make sense. Politically, it's probably too risky for him.
I can't see how they do it.
Well, they can just say, like Liz Truss just did.
But that's different. This government went to an election saying we're sticking by this. It's a really big thing to reverse. You would have to do something funky, right? You'd have to say, no, we're going to keep the bulk of it, but we're just going to tweak it at the very top end, or you'd have to go to another election and say, well, now we are going to change our mind, but you get to vote on it or something. I just think that it'd be a big political risk. Like polls like that say it's popular, that's one thing, but it's very different once you actually
And the other thing is that it's not till 2024, and so he's got a bit of time on his hands. Inflation might not be as bad by 2024.
Yeah,
hopefully.
What's gone with Liz Truss? Like, I mean, it's been a big few weeks in the job, hasn't it? Like,
Well, as we saw with that graph where the pound just went through the floor. Incredible.
how long does she keep her job for, do you think?
If they hadn't reneged on the 45p, she'd be gone, I would think.
She's less popular than Boris Johnson was, so that tells you something.
Crazy.
Yeah.